Hello, Reds. Glad to have you back to the Hub. Manchester United latest updates, breaking news, and anything related to United players, the staff, and past legends. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here, and your thought and comment section. Here we go. Gary Neville rips into what he saw moments after final whistle of Manchester United versus Manchester City. Manchester United and Manchester City played out a dull, goalless draw at Old Trafford, and former United captain Gary Neville wasn't happy with players' behavior at full time. Gary Neville was far from impressed by the behavior of Manchester City and Manchester United players after Sunday's derby draw. The ex-United skipper was unhappy with what he read as players from both sides being satisfied with a point at Old Trafford. Neither team created much of note as the spoils were shared in the scoreless draw. The crowd were on their feet early on as Alejandro Garnacho was fouled just outside the penalty area, but that's more or less as exciting as it got. I think the congratulations and love-in that I'm watching says both teams are happy with a 0-0, Neville said during Sky Sports coverage. The best Man City and Man United teams would be very disappointed with the way they've approached the end of that game. It looks like it's Sunday afternoon and they're going to go for a roast dinner together now. They're micromanaged to an inch of their lives, so robotic, and it's symptomatic of a lot of games that we're watching nowadays. I'm disappointed, he added. It's a Manchester derby. It should have more blood, thunder, and risk and courage involved in playing the game and winning the game than that. Neville was similarly frustrated at the end of the first half. It's like we've got to a point in football where teams are frightened to death to give the ball away, make a mistake, take a risk, he said moments before the teams headed in for the halftime break. They're all so obsessed with shape. Nothing off the cuff is happening in lots of games. This has got to stop. The excitement and beauty of the Premier League is the sort of thrust and energy and excitement and doing things a little bit differently. This 45 minutes is a non-entity. It's not good enough from either team. City ended the day in fifth, still a point behind Chelsea, after the Blues played out a 0-0 draw of their own against Brentford. Newcastle can still overtake them if they beat struggling Leicester City at the King Power Stadium on Monday night. United remain comfortably in the bottom half, but a point against City means they remain 13th. Tottenham Hotspur briefly moved above them on goal difference earlier in the day, beating Southampton 3-1 to confirm the Saints' relegation. United head coach RUBEN was asked about the perceived lack of intensity after the final whistle at Old Trafford. If you look at the moment of both teams not fighting for titles, that changes the game completely, the former Sporting CP boss told Sky Sports. The feeling of winning, not being able to lose 1 point, that feeling is not here. As the coach, it's hard to say that. We need to fight for big things. If we do, then the feeling will be completely different. Pep Guardiola's response to the taunts from Manchester United supporters after Manchester City's 0-0 draw at Old Trafford has become one of the most talked about moments of the match. Despite his team's disappointing performance, which saw them miss a crucial opportunity to climb into fourth place in the Premier League, it was Guardiola's iconic reaction to the United fans' chants that captured everyone's attention. Throughout the match, United fans aimed their chants at City in reference to the 130 charges the club is facing for alleged breaches of Premier League financial rules. As Guardiola made his way toward the tunnel following the final whistle, he was greeted with boos and chants from the Stretford end, which included the notorious "cheating, you know what you are." Rather than ignoring the hostile atmosphere, Guardiola took a moment to stop before the tunnel and turn towards the fans. In an unexpected move, the City boss waved at the United supporters with both hands, which was met with sarcastic cheers from the crowd. This moment of defiance from Guardiola, known for his composed nature, left fans and commentators buzzing. Bernardo Silva, who was standing nearby, couldn't hide his amusement at Guardiola's response, even smirking at the situation. The lighthearted reaction to the otherwise tense atmosphere was so striking that a fan on social media quipped, "That was the most entertaining part of the game." Guardiola's cheeky wave was certainly an unforgettable moment, but the match itself had been far from entertaining. Manchester City's 0-0 draw meant they failed to take advantage of Chelsea's slip-up earlier in the day, missing the opportunity to leapfrog them into fourth place in the Premier League. For United, the result was a modest positive, lifting them back above Tottenham into 13th place, though they had also failed to impress. Despite the frustration on the pitch, Guardiola's focus quickly shifted to the behavior of certain United fans, who went beyond the usual rival banter during the match. Sections of the Old Trafford crowd targeted City's Phil Foden with an offensive chant about his mother. The chant, which involved crude language, was condemned by Guardiola in his post-match interview. It was a lack of class, Guardiola stated, expressing his disbelief that such chants, which crossed the line into personal insults, could be part of the football experience. Guardiola went on to emphasize the vulnerability of players, managers, and even owners in the world of football, saying, "We are so exposed in football. Managers, owners, and football players especially." His words indicated his disappointment, not just in the behavior of a section of United fans, but in the way football culture can sometimes veer into disrespectful territory. Guardiola's stance was clear. Such insults, especially those aimed at a player's family, were unacceptable. Guardiola also made it clear that he could not understand the mindset of those involved in the chant. "I don't understand the mind of the people involving the mum of Phil," he said. His comments reflected a deeper frustration, not just with the incident at hand, but with the overall lack of class he felt was exhibited in the situation. He called on the people responsible for the chants to feel ashamed for their behavior, stressing that football should be about competition and respect, not personal attacks. The City boss then shifted to discussing his team's performance, particularly that of Foden, who has struggled this season to match the high standards he set last year when he was named PFA Player of the Year. "This season we dropped incredibly," Guardiola admitted, pointing out that Foden's lack of form was part of a broader issue affecting the entire team. Guardiola acknowledged that Foden had been vital to City's success last season, with the midfielder often scoring crucial goals. However, this year, Foden's form has dipped, and the team as a whole has failed to reach the level of performance they are known for. Guardiola noted, "Not just Phil Foden, but all of them," referring to the struggles that have plagued the team this season. City's failure to perform at their usual level was evident in the lackluster draw with United. While the defensive display was solid, the attack lacked the clinical edge that had defined City's success in previous seasons. Guardiola's comments suggested that both he and the players were aware that they were not playing at the level expected of them, and it's clear that this is an issue they will need to address as the season progresses. Guardiola's post-match comments and reaction to the taunts from United fans highlighted the more unsavory aspects of football rivalry, but also demonstrated his ability to remain composed and even cheeky in the face of adversity.